Hey guys, so today we're taking our STAAR test. You've worked all year for this, and we're going to review over a few things before we get started. First things first, when you get it and I say go, or Miss Thomas or Miss Baxter, whoever you're testing with, when we say go, then the first thing you do is make that multiplication chart. That is so important because you can go back and look at that chart as many times as you want. Next, I want to see a place value chart. It can be simple, but I want to see it. That way you can always go back and look at it. And then we've practiced putting that Scantron away. Okay, so put it in your desk. Put it in your desk or put it to the side, put it somewhere nearby. That way we're not focusing on that during the test. You can come back at the end and bubble. I want to go over our strategies. So we know that when we're working out our math problems, we use cubes. So we're going to circle important numbers, underline the questions, box in our keywords, go back and look for that tricky trash. If it's not important, mark it out. Then evaluate. Then I want you to go back and solve and check all of your work. But you need to be using cubes on every single question. You know, in class, we write cubes out to the side and we use every single step until we find our answer. That helps us make sure that we have the correct information and that we're doing it the right way. Then we're going to see these fancy things. These are called gridables. We have worked so hard on perfecting this and making sure that we do it correctly. So it says I have to fill in the boxes and the bubbles. That is so important. You can't just fill in the boxes because it's going to grade your bubbles. You have to fill in both. So I have a little example that I'm going to work through with you. We always start right here with the decimal because place value is the key to filling this out correctly. So find your decimal, find your decimal. Look to this side. What's on this side? I see an 8. So on this side of my decimal, I write an 8. Then I have to fill in the bubble. I know that the top one's always 0, and it will tell you in your bubbles what it is. So I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have to do the box and the bubble. Then I go back to that decimal. What's on this side? A 6. So fill in your 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Box and bubble. Then I go to this side. What's on this side? A 4. So I fill in my 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, do I have anything right here? No. You don't have to fill in these zeros, or you can. It's up to you. If you do decide to fill in those zeros, you have to fill in the bubble as well. Okay, so that is the key to remembering this. It's all about place value. You can't put the 46 and 8/10 way over here because the whole answer will be wrong. Make sure you line up that decimal. Next, we're going to look at mini zoos, mini animals. We have practiced this with our 2-digit multiplication. So we multiply, 0, multiply, add. I should see that on your paper. Whenever I'm walking around and monitoring, if you have a problem on there where you're doing 2-digit multiplication, you better have the strategy written down. That is the key. So when you get started, go ahead and do a brain dump. Dump all this information out and do mini zoos, mini animals. Multiply, 0, multiply, add. We have practiced that all year. PEMDAS. This is so stressful to me because I know how hard we've worked on it and how much we've struggled with it throughout the year. I have pushed and pushed and pushed for you to get this. So I should see PEMDAS written down. As I'm walking around, you need to have PEMDAS on your page if it's PEMDAS questions. Go ahead and do a brain dump with it. Rewrite every step. That's the key to making sure that we get it right and making sure that we're doing the correct strategies. You have to rewrite your steps. We start parentheses. We don't use exponents in 5th grade, so go ahead and mark out that E. Multiply and divide. We do that left to right. Okay? Multiply and divide left to right. Add and subtract, again, left to right, whichever one comes first. Mark it out as you go and rewrite the problem. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers raw? Divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down, repeat, and remainder. This is something that we really struggled on this year, so we've practiced it a lot, and we've done it a lot in the last couple of days in our review. Make sure you have those steps written down. As soon as you get it and you finish your multiplication chart, place value chart, do your brain dump and write those steps down. There's no reason to get a division problem wrong when you have the steps. All you have to do is go back and check your math. Then we have comparing decimals. So on this one, I'm comparing 48 and 1200ths to 48 and 2100ths. So I know that when I'm comparing decimals, I start with my highest place value. That's right here, highest place value. If they're the same, I mark them out. Well, I know that my 4s are the same. They're equal. If they're not equal, then I circle them. I have 8s. Well, I know that 8 is the same as 8, so mark it out. Next, on this side of my decimal, I have a 1 and a 2. Well, that's different values, so I have to circle those. I have a 1 and a 2. Well, which one's greater? 2 is greater than 1, so I know that this number down here is going to be greater than this number, which tells me that 48 and 12 hundredths is less than 48 and 21 hundredths because this number was bigger. Remember that the alligator eats our bigger number. So that's the key thing to remember when we're comparing decimals, to line up your decimals and compare starting with the greatest place value. The last thing I want to cover with you real quick is graphing. You know there's going to be graphing problems on there. So remember, we go over x, up, y. ABC is the key thing to remembering that because x comes before y in your ABCs. Remember, the horizontal axis is x, vertical is y. When we have an input-output table, x comes first in the input-output table as well. So you might see it like this or you might see it sideways. If you see it sideways like this, okay, remember the top is x, bottom is y. X comes first, y is always last. Take your time on your test. You have 4 hours to take it. Take your time, do your best, show all of your work. Remember, bubble at the end, not at the beginning. Go back and do that after you've done all of your math. Relax. You've done it all year. Now it's time to show us what you got. Okay? You got this. Good luck.